Welcome back to Digging Deeper with the Missourian. I'm Dakota Oswalt, and this is News in a Minute. Let's get into this week's stories. Residents in Nottoway County had the opportunity to vote April 7th. Here are the unofficial results. 3 incumbent candidates were elected back onto the Maryville City Council: Aaron Allen, Brian Williams, and Benjamin Lippick. On the Maryville R2 School Board, Amy Ziegler, Deanne Davison, and Dale Baker all earned seats. Proposition Spoofhound was the last ballot item for Maryville, and it passed. All of these are the unofficial results. The final tallies will not be announced until after the filming of this episode. Next, there are 6 candidates running for executive positions on Student Senate. Senate Vice President Philip Motazedy is running uncontested for president. Motazedy said being able to give back to the community is one of the major reasons he decided to run. I'm currently on the executive board right now, and I've been able to be a witness to the leadership that Anna Tucker, our current president, has been able to exemplify. I just think that it would be the natural next step, Motazedy said. Both the vice president and secretary positions also have 1 candidate each. 3 senators are out for the treasurer position. Finally, Northwest President Lance Tatum announced March 12th that there will be a new Center for Rural Health on campus that will be open in the spring 2027 semester. Northwest Provost Rosemarie Ward said the center will have 3 focuses. These are providing healthcare training opportunities in rural areas, allowing Northwest students in specific degree programs to utilize the space, and developing a research brand centered on technique development and rural health research. The goal of this center, the vision for it, is to better serve our community and really honor the fact that we are a rural serving community, and that our students are going out and serving rural communities as well, Ward said. Now let's look at where the news has taken reporter Micah Stolley this week.
The Beal Park tennis courts are in what some people would describe as a pickle. But Maryville Parks and Recreation are looking to change these courts into something else. I'm Micah Stolley with Digging Deeper, and I'm here at the Beal Park, where these are currently tennis courts, but could have a much different look by the end of the summer. Here's more. Maryville Parks and Recreation's master plan was recently approved by the city of Maryville, which included remodeling the tennis courts at Beal Park. The remodeling will replace the 6 tennis courts and the basketball hoop with 9 pickleball courts, constructed by Target Sports Construction for around $500,000. Maggie Rockwood, Maryville Parks and Recreation Director, said construction could be finished as soon as the middle of the summer.
We are hoping for construction to start before the end of this month. And hoping for substantial completion by this summer, hoping for complete completion by middle to end of this summer.
Pickleball is a paddle sport blending tennis, badminton, and table tennis, and that can be played both indoors and outdoors with a net slightly lower than a badminton net, according to the USA Pickleball website. Pickleball can be played by all ages and offers a cardio workout as well as training coordination, reflexes, and social connection, according to the USA Pickleball website. Currently, there are only around 3 courts where community members can play pickleball, with none being present in an outdoor public park. Rockwood said the Maryville Community Center has pickleball participation from Monday to Sunday. Rockwood said pickleball has been a popular sport in Maryville.
We've just had such a big interest in pickleball here lately. Anyone can play pickleball, so anyone from little kids to older adults and aging adults, and so it's just a sport that everyone can get into and can bring people together. And as many people as we have playing here already and wanting more and more space all the time, it was just something that we decided we really needed to get done.
Rockwood said there is more work to be done at Beal Park, but no plans have been made currently. She said one goal for Beal Park was to make sure the park follows ADA guidelines and to renovate the bathrooms in the park. Rockwood said a 9-court pickleball complex is a big accomplishment for a town the size of Maryville, with the nearest 9-court outdoor complex being in Kansas City. Rockwood said the pickleball courts will allow for more events to be held in Maryville.
We definitely have talked about, whenever we get this complex done and ready, kind of doing like a kickoff event, maybe hosting some tournaments out there. We'll probably start running a couple of our own tournaments and stuff like that, but nothing planned specifically date-wise as of right now.
Well, here's the deal. My segment on Digging Deeper is at an end. I'm Micah Stolley with Digging Deeper, and I want to thank you for joining me. We'll have more back at the studio.
Welcome back to the interview portion of Digging Deeper. In this segment, I'll be getting the inside scoop from the reporter of the top story each week. This week, I'll be talking to news editor Anna Bailey about Northwest changing dining services. Welcome, Anna. So to get us started, could you explain what is going on with the dining services here at Northwest?
So pretty much, Sodexo, the current food service management, is leaving. They terminated their contract 3 years early, and so they will be gone by the end of this semester, and a new service management will be in by May. But we don't know the reason why yet this is happening.
What is this going to specifically change on campus?
It really could change anything and everything. We don't know yet because we don't know who this new service management is going to be, but it could change the Bearcat Commons, our retail restaurants, it could change the vending machines, the price of everything, our dining plans, the way we use our Bearcat cards for food. Really, it could change anything and everything. What we do know is that Starbucks will stay, and it's really likely that all of the restaurants are going to change.
What was it like for you gathering information and sources for this story?
It was definitely more difficult than other stories. For this one, I wasn't able to get any in-person interviews because President Lance Tatum, he wasn't available for an interview prior to the publication of this story. And then Casey Benton, the general manager for Sodexo at Northwest, he also let me know that as a general manager, he's not allowed to discuss anything with me as in terms of contracts. And so that also meant I couldn't talk to anyone from Sodexo at Northwest. So I wasn't able to gain any extra information from people who are in the process of this. I was able to request some documents that helped me kind of learn a little bit more. One of these was the request for proposal that Northwest is using to hire this next management. And so through that, I was able to learn kind of just the requirements and the expectations for this next management.
So in your story, you specifically put that President Lance Tatum wasn't available. Why do we put that in our story?
Yes, so we put this because we want the audience to know that we did reach out and that we're just being as transparent as we can. Pretty much how it works is if someone is unavailable but they're important, we'll add that in just so that the audience knows that we tried our best and they were not able to talk to us.
In our opinion piece this week, we were able to talk about the communication that Northwest has had with its students. What has that communication looked like so far?
It's been a little bit small. Of course, we understand that the university, everything is really up in the air, and so I'm sure the university is just not sharing some things because they don't know yet, kind of like who the management will be. But according to their timeline, by this point, they should have picked who this person will be, and by May they will be starting, and they're in the process of working on a contract. And so I think some people are a little confused why we don't know anything. President Tatum did announce in the beginning of May at a Board of Regents meeting that Sodexo will be leaving. That's when the public kind of heard this for the first time. The contract was terminated in December, however, and so it's been a pretty significant amount of time. And then an email was sent out to students recently, kind of just letting them know that retail options are going to change and they're wondering what students might like.
You were able to talk to a student for this story. What were kind of the opinions there?
Yeah, so the student I talked to, she let me know that she actually is looking forward to a change. She said that the Commons has made her stomach hurt a couple times, and I think that is an opinion that multiple students share. And so I've heard some students say that they are looking forward to the change. However, of course, there is probably going to be some disappointment because the retail options that we all enjoy are changing.
Well, thank you so much for joining me, Anna, and for all this amazing information. For more stories like this, make sure to check out nwmissourinews.com or pick up a paper from one of the stands around campus. I'm Hannah Claywell, and thank you for watching. See you next week.